Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast. Soly here, coming to you live from Augusta. We have made it to Masters Week here at an Airbnb, wonderfully sourced by the guy to my right, Mr. Neil Schuster. Hello, Icarito. How are you, buddy?
Cheers. Good to see you
Cheers.
in person.
Thank you. Likewise. Hey. We're awkwardly sitting next to each other because we got to kind of face the camera. I don't really know how we're going to talk to each other exactly, but hey, we're taking the show a little bit on the road this week. But how are you doing?
Fantastic. Pretty easy travel day because I got out early. But it seems like
people are having some troubles.
tough stuff going on at ATL. TC, we can get into some airport logistics later.
Okay. KVV has still not made it in yet. He'll probably be arriving at some point during this podcast. And the other voice you hear is, of course, Mr. TC. What'd you get into today, TC?
No, listen, I had a really normal day. I flew down to LIV Miami. didn't think I was going to do that this morning. And then Buddy was like, hey, we're flying down to LIV Miami. I was like, cool. So
we got some winners from around. We're going to get into that. Trust me, we're going to pull the cord on that one. You didn't tell us this at all either until after you were leaving, which was sick. But Brian Harman wins the Valero. Gosh, I meant to look up the pronunciation to make sure I didn't mess it up. But Carla Bernat Escuder wins the ANWA. I hope I got that right.
It's good effort, buddy.
I know. I'm sitting next to the pronunciation guy himself. We got Leash and Ripper GC win at Trump Doral at LIV Miami. And Madelene Sagstrom, a young hitress, outlasts another one of Lauren Coughlin at the T-Mobile match play. A lot of golf to talk about.
What a finish.
First
what
off,
a world.
What a world.
Seriously,
I know. Unbelievable. All NLU final.
Just get out in front of this. Didn't watch a lot of golf this weekend. A lot of logistics. This was the travel day. A lot of logistics getting up here. Get caught up on some highlights. A lot to try to take in from the funnel as you get into try to do a show tonight. But first off, congrats.
Full funnel approach
for sure.
Congrats to Brian Harman on his win at the Valero Texas Open. As you all have heard this year, we are learning about the importance of how finding the right footwear for your game can make such a difference. We talked about how Justin Thomas switched to the Hyperflex. It allowed him to fire off his right side, which has resulted in more speed, power, and consistency. Other players choose Premier Series for the ideal combination of comfort, performance, and style. Brian Harman requires something different. He wears Tour Alpha, which is Footjoy's most stable shoe. It allows him to be totally locked in to use the ground most efficiently and generate the most power for his game. If you're rolling up to the first tee in a pair of golf shoes you wanted to scramble or you bought on sale, you're not playing your best golf. Finding the right golf shoes for your game is as important as finding the right driver or the right golf ball. Footjoy develops golf shoes for whatever you need, mobile or stable, cleated or spikeless, athletic or classic, in virtually every size imaginable. Start your journey towards better golf by finding the right shoe for you at footjoy.com/shoefinder. Neil, what did we get into today?
So travel, TC, I went to Cracker Barrel on the way over from Atlanta. If you really want to know what I got into, I got into a country
you
fried
flew into
steak.
Atlanta and then drove?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's so much easier. I mean, because I got a direct from Newark, and God, it was a zoo at the oversized baggage claim, though. The people were not prepared.
You rent a car?
Yeah, I rented a car, drove over.
Okay.
It was delightful. I got in at 10:30 and made my way over. I got to the media center, the unbelievable media center.
Delta or United?
No, I flew United. Actually went into the North Terminal for the first time in a very long time.
North Terminal rules.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Anyway, and Enterprise gave me the tools to be my own boss. Free shout out there for you.
Come on,
he's
get to the story.
Get
to the golf part.
Listen, we get to the media center. Soly's meets me there. It was great. We get out to the course, and it's nobody's out there really, and it's a really an awesome place to see. I haven't been here in 10 years.
Day. It's an awesome. The Sunday before is an awesome
it's just
day.
like the past champs and players that aren't at Valero. Just really laid back out there. And so yeah, we see Gary Player coming off the 18th. Well, first we see Max caught up with Max. He shot he said he shot 8 under on the front 9.
No, he missed a 12-footer on 9 to shoot 28 on the front. Just like walked off laughing of like a fucking course. I just saw, he's like, I thought about playing another 9 to see if I could go shoot 59. I don't think that would set me up that well for the week, but
59. What about like 57?
Well, he shot 29, so he would have needed a heck of a back 9, I think, to shoot 57. But
trending, TC. We loved it.
Very much of just kind of laughing about the whole situation, knowing he's not playing his best golf. But saw a bunch of different players roll through. It's this day is kind of weird. And we'll get into this, but Monday looks like a washout completely for weather. There's a notice that went out to patrons that they're not letting people in right away. There's going to be an update at 8 a.m., but don't show up at Augusta tomorrow morning. If you're listening, if you're on your way to the course right now before 8 a.m. and listen to this, don't go because they're not letting you in. But So there's a lot more players there than normal. We saw Billy Ho, Harris English, Russ Henley was there, Sung Jae, and then past champs can bring guests out and everything. Like, it just truly looks like one of the great perks of winning the Masters is like getting to take kind of whoever you want.
We were laughing, it's like you feel like me here. I'm like, okay, don't break any rules, like especially today, just like let's get off to a good start here. And I did a great job, but it's like two different, like there's no rules for those guys. That's the vibe. It's like, actually, it seems really chill for them.
People taking their phones
they
out.
got anybody that's playing with them
no
got
rules,
their,
just right, mate.
It's like, man, it seems really laid back. And I think a unique and an interesting vibe that's kind of fun to see when there's no other patrons really out there.
So Gary Player walks off.
First of all, no patrons at all, because you guys aren't patrons either.
Correct.
No patrons.
I'm going to try to keep you from getting in trouble here too. You're media.
No, that's what I said. I said no
other.
Oh, all right. Well, of course. Sorry.
So we see this guy, this man come up in all black, coming up the 18th green. Hits a great shot right at the flag, but it's coming in too flat, too low, and goes through the green. It's, of course, Mr. Gary Player, the Black Knight. And he talks to someone coming off the course. And I'm going to read this I'm going to tell the story. And I wish KVV was here. He's going to be arriving here shortly, but I wish he could read this, because he talks to another media member and comes up to a group of 6 of us just standing there and just, hey, what an experience. Every time I walk off this course, I take a piece of grass and he bends down. I'm not joking. Bends down, pulls the overseeded rye, and he says, and I eat it. And he eats part of the grass from Augusta, just right in front of us, unprovoked. Nobody said a word.
That's like Les Miles, right?
Yes, very much, TC.
He comes right up as if we don't know who he is and says, 3 wins, 3 seconds, top 10 14 times, most number of cuts, 67 visits, most number of times played in the championship, and just sits there. And I was like, yeah, but who's counting? He's
I hit him with a who's counting.
But I am. And somebody asked him, how do you feel? And he goes, like a lion.
That's what I said. I said, how you feeling these days? He goes, like a lion. And he thumps his abs.
90 years old, strong. And he bangs himself in the belly. All my friends are dead. Lee, I've told my friend Lee Trevino, I've beat my age 3,339 times. And today is 3,340. And he said, what's so impressive about that? You got to shoot 17 over to beat it. And I'm just dying. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I really wish KVV was here. And second of all, that's just like how he is 24/7. Just a complete
I will say this though. The guy he's a menace. He's a lot, but I mean, he's 89. He's about to be 90. I mean, I got nothing but respect for it, because he thumped those abs and they were like
so hard. He did the same routine to the other group.
Oh no, that's the thing, TC. He did this. It's like a stand-up bit. He did it to like 3 different groups of people. The grass eating was for us though. Nobody else got that.
That was a special treat.
But I mean, he's 90 and it's like some pop on the abs. Like it's crazy how like he's literally, it's not a bit. He's in really good shape.
Soly, was that your first time meeting him or experiencing him?
I met him on this day last year as well, because you can just kind of stand there and talk to people, and it's like the actual kind of one welcome.
It's incredible though. It's not
crazy.
Really an interaction. It's like he's doing a stand-up bit, and then he moved. He didn't really say goodbye. He just then he just walked off. Yeah. It was like, all right, man. And it just kind of off he goes. It was really wild.
The world's most traveled man, as he claims. So, all right, we're going to talk some Valero. We're going to talk ANWA. Jordan Perez is going to be joining us a little bit later. We had the hitter battle at the LPGA match play, lived around a few closing notes. But onto the Valero again. I had to catch up via highlights. TC, I know you got to watch a little bit of it this week, but Brian Harman took a 3-shot lead in the final round, ended up winning by 3 shots as well. I outsourced a lot of the research for this. I asked our Twitter folks to give us 5-word reviews for both LIV Miami and for Valero, and I'm going to read some of the best ones.
Sounds like you're using AI, Soly. Yes, Grok.
Crowdsourcing.
LZYL23. Brian Harman wins. Cool, man. At Jason Middleton 7, waggle, 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 waggle. Break 80G said Tommy Fleetwood didn't break 80. Which didn't.
We'll get there. Okay. We can get there.
ES Crimshaw said, thank fuck, it's Masters Week. Rick Majerus, not sure if it's the real one or not, but Valero, boring. Miami, surprisingly decent. Springco Not kids doing aim point, which is in reference to the drive, chip, and putt from this morning. A lot of these, but G. Luke Perrin said there was professional golf today, ? Amal Yannick, 2 tours, 0 good product. JC Hudson, 0-0. ANWA and LPGA were better. And look out, it's Fouts, said Soly talking himself into Spieth. Those were the 5-word reviews from the Valero.
You can't talk
T12?
yourself into Spieth after that performance. I don't know what we're doing. Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. If you can't talk yourself into Spieth.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't talk myself into any storyline for this week. I mean, there's going to be some
Toasty
things
in the
flying
field
around.
this week?
I don't think he is.
Toasty might be a fit for Augusta if and when he ever makes it.
Well, I said this to Soly earlier. I do want to call out, give the Georgia Bulldogs a little bit of shine. Four winners to start the year. They got Harris English, Sepp Straka, now Brian Harman, and Russell Henley. I mean, that's prolific stuff coming into Augusta, right down the road from UGA. So, shout out to the Bulldogs for a hot start to the season.
Neil asked a question earlier. So we'll get back to Valero here in a second, but he asked how many ways Scotty Scheffler is qualified for the Masters. How many ways do you think there are, TC? And can you guess which ones they are?
I mean, there's like 50-something ways, right?
There are, according to this website, I believe there are 20 different ways to qualify for the Masters.
20? I would say he's done 11 or 12 of those.
How many do you think there are, Neil?
No, probably 16 or 17, I'd say.
No, I feel like some of those classifications are I can't be that.
16 or 17.
I'm gonna say 9.
I mean, some of them are top 4.
A very Neil projection.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 9. Yeah, I'm going low. I'm going low.
It's 7.
7. Okay.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. He is 1, 5, and 6, which 1, 5, and 6 is Masters tournament champions, winners of the Players Championship of the last 3 years, Olympic gold medalist. That's 1. 17, 18, 19, and 20 are the remaining criteria, which is individual winners of PGA Tour events from prior year, those qualifying for the previous year's Tour Championship, top 50 at the end of the OWGR last year, and top 50 as of 2 weeks ago. So,
anything glaring there that he's
U.S. Open champions, Open champions.
What is the
PGA champions?
All 5 years or all 4 years in between Olympics?
No, I think it's just the prior years, I believe. Yeah.
Because the Players was 3.
It is 3 years of it.
And then U.S. Open, would that be a
U.S. Open is 5 years?
That's a great question, Olympics wise.
Yeah,
1 year. Right? It's 1 year.
1 year. So
that's
just the following year from the Olympics.
Okay. But I mean, you think of Scott. I mean, Scotty's he's only won the Masters. That's the only major he's won. So he's never gotten in off the U.S. Open, the Open, or PGA.
Which that's a massive blight on his resume right now.
Totally. Right? We can, we'll address that when we get to it. But current U.S. Amateur, obviously the U.S. Amateur runner-up, Asia Pacific Amateur, Latin America, Mid-Am, NCAA men's champion.
Hand up. I forgot about the amateur qualification. Yeah. It would have been impossible for him.
Back to Brian Harman, another PGA Tour win for him. I know he gets a lot of shit online for the waggling and all that. I believe this is his 4th. Did you look that up?
I did not look it up, but I can.
1.7 million today.
So he shot 66 the first 2 rounds. Then he shot 72, 75. It was hard out there today. Guys, I got to say, I think Valero, it's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not even really good to watch. But I respect it. It's
you respect its existence.
Yeah, it's like a proper professional golf tournament. Like it's a TPC. It's no longer named after AT&T. It's just the TPC San Antonio Oaks course now, I think. But it's just like they had a single digit. It was -9 was the lead, and it was the most diverse leaderboard all week. You had bomb and gouge guys. You had guys like Matt Wallace, who are really, really, really good iron players, and you had great putters. Like Brian Harman, Ryan Gerard, Mav McNeely, Andrew Novak, Bud Colley. Ryan Gerard and Brian Harman are like 2 of the most opposite style players that you could possibly imagine from a skill set perspective. So I love a course that sets these guys up to play their game and compete on the same course instead of it just bucketing it out, hey, this is a bomb and gouge course. Cool. Like this guy doesn't have a chance this week. You might as well miss the cut, right?
It was extreme. I mean, that wind was absolutely whipping out there. And I mean, basically everybody was going backwards from At least that final group. I mean, Brian Harman shot 75 today. Andrew Novak shot 76. He was the biggest threat to Harman, but bogeyed 4 of his last 6 holes. And Ryan Gerard
shot 69.
69 and
Hottest player in the world right now.
Yeah, not a lot of 60s on the board. Patrick
Torbjorn Olesen
might
be on the Ryder Cup team.
Olsen, both
Soly,
68s.
Another one.
Honestly, how is he not on LIV? I thought Olsen has been on LIV for the last several years. I totally missed that one.
I'll tell you who I was most disappointed with today. Tom Hoagie.
There's another Tom I thought you were going to say you'd be disappointed in.
You're not more disappointed.
There's another Tom. There's another Thomas on the board. I think you.
No, Hoagie, 76 in the Texas wind. I would have thought that would have been his calling card.
It's not a Siggy.
He's not ready yet. TC. He'll let you know.
He's not wasted it on that. Dude, what do you have to say for Tommy shooting 81?
Let's just get it out of the way, TC.
I mean, Malnati shot 80. Patton Kazire shot 83. Tommy was managing.
Listen to these names that you're throwing out.
What about
China? Did you hear this?
Managing his energy today. He played
What about
great.
the tariffs, TC?
He shot 68 first round. I think he's been working on stuff, and I think we're going to come out ready to rock at Augusta.
This was good. You had to flush all the bad money out, right? Like this is a good thing.
TC was a bad. It wasn't just a bad. Hold on. It wasn't just a bad final round. 73, 74, 81. Like that's the opposite of trending there. 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, Neil. You know, I see that. I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see who's wearing pants.
All right. I just feels like Tommy might have been deep pants today. That's kind of the concern here.
I mean, are you guys putting a lot of stock in the Valero? Is that
only if it fits my narratives? Same way. Like
exactly.
For Spieth, it's great. All I needed was a sign of life. He could totally happen this week. And Ludwig, it means absolutely nothing that he missed.
Honestly, I'm convinced Ludwig missed the cut on purpose. He was in the middle of the fairway on his last hole from like 130 yards, and just like didn't even sniff the green on his last hole. I was like, hey, cool. Like he's gonna get an extra 2 days out of Augusta, and he's gonna be ready to rock.
It's not like you want to do a bunch of wind battles and go into Augusta with any kind of uncertainty. You don't want to shoot 81 and roll into Augusta.
No, you don't want that.
Is kind of where I'm going with it. Are you going to pick Tommy this week to win?
I might. I mean, we'll see.
We'll take a look.
The TC way would be to pick him tonight, pick somebody else on Monday, and pick somebody else on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning pick a 4th person.
We'll see.
A lot. Sprinkle.
You got to tune into the shows to find out. Okay.
TC and I we were in Vegas earlier this week. He's sprinkling the roulette board, just like he sprinkles his picks. Doot, 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 doot.
Neil, you had a great week.
I did. We had fun on the roulette table. just dumb fun. I do want to not shout out, but God, I'm so excited when I see Keith Mitchell come out and shoot 64. It feels like he's done that like 6 weeks in a row.
He's Charlie Hoffman.
I think he has.
I know.
I think he's done it 4 weeks in a row.
He just can't, but he's just the Sunday scores 76 today. It just feels like we're struggling on the weekends.
Well,
I want to see him break through.
He's weighed down by all these meals he's having out on tour. I mean, of course, by the end of the week, he's got to be exhausted.
It's like, oh, there you go. Keith's playing well. It's like the same story, different week. So
Soly,
hopefully,
I saw Daniel Berger's statistical profile today. Somebody sent it to me. I think I sent it along to you guys. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It was like
just
the
all-around game, right?
The anti-ball speed imposter, like just proper golfer. Like
well-balanced portfolio.
It's true. It's a proper pentagon.
Yeah.
TC, any comments on the shenanigans we saw from Andrew Novak on Saturday of banging one off the grandstands on 16 to birdie range?
Yeah, actually, there was a lot of shenanigans this week. I heard from some people that Keith took dangerous animal relief from fire ants, and then took some of the most egregious TIO anybody's ever seen on the next hole after that.
I'd like to clarify. I've changed my stance on the fire ants after getting attacked by one, a set of them on the course. That qualifies as dangerous animal relief.
I actually did it the Winter Park 9 as well, and they hurt.
And Bryson replied to our Instagram story.
I know. So we might have to adjust the record on that one. It's still a funny thing to get relief from, though.
I will say, Novak, he brought it to my attention, which I give him a lot of credit for.
Before his round was even over, I think you had tweeted at you asking for apologies.
Let that be a note to all you professionals out there listening. Just get out in front of TC. Just get to it before he can.
A lot of scumbags out there. Andrew Novak, you are not one of them. You've had a great year. Honestly, he wasn't aiming for the grandstands. There's so many. I've seen Scam Champ do it. There's so many people that have done it. and they will call their shot where it was a par 3. He's not trying to hit it into the grandstands on a par 3. I hope not, at least.
Well, this is the right one too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Yeah.
long one. And he went over and signed it afterwards. Like he was having fun with it. Novak's a
Yeah.
showman. I'm in on Andrew
way
Novak.
in.
Yeah. I'm
For
Team
sure.
Novak.
And really, he's up to 26th in the FedEx Cup, up another 18 spots. We'll T3 this week.
Mav McNeely, he shared third place with Mav McNeely, who I believe I saw is ranked now 10th in the world in the official golf rankings. Yeah, he is skyrocketing up the world golf rankings and has had a great start to 2025.
Bud Cauley, Soly.
Big group at T5. Never count out Bud Cauley, Chan Kim, Patrick Fishburne, Torbjorn Olesen, Rio Hisatun, Chad Ramey, and Tom Hoagie all sharing tied for 5th. Of course, I'm not going to read off all the T12s, but the notable one here is Mr. Jordan Spieth, which we'll save that for tomorrow's show. We're going to do a full Masters preview show. We're going to do that live on our YouTube channel at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. As I say that, we might need to move the time. I don't know if up or down based on if there's no action tomorrow. So we're planning it for 3:30 as of now, but that was assuming that there would be a practice round tomorrow. But
Soly, couple interesting ones at T18 as well. Cam Young and Corey Connors. Corey Connors, I know a lot of Canadians out there looking towards Corey Connors for a spark. And I mean, if he doesn't win it this year, this is like it feels like everything's setting up for it this year, right?
Feel like everything is setting up for Corey Connors to win the Masters?
I mean, many people are talking right
now. Some notable missed cuts. Mr. Ludwig, as mentioned, Akshay Bhatia missed the cut as well. Hideki missed the cut. Sam Burns, Max missed another cut. Anything to glean from that group? Anything to think before going into Augusta?
Nothing whatsoever. Maybe Sam Burns because this is Bermuda, right?
Was it not overseeded? It looked.
I think it was overseeded. They need to stop overseeding everything. Like none of the Southern guys have an advantage anymore, and it's like everything.
So many fans are outraged by this. TC, the fans they're not even tuning in. They can't stand that the Southern guys don't get their advantage.
They want green. TC.
I mean, Brian Harman still won. That honestly, that makes him more impressive. I mean, right?
A couple. We talked about Keith. Joke Delhomme asked if Keith Mitchell was a Thursday Friday guy only. And Photo Bob 1961. What is the concern level on Max? A lot of people are concerned about Max, his game. We've touched on this, but as we head into the Masters, I don't know if the front 929 today changes anything on that front. But what's your guys' concern level on Max?
I'll be more concerned if he doesn't play well at Augusta. I think getting back to Augusta, friendly confines for him based on last year, not a bad place to kind of work out the driver a little bit. And by Max's own admission, he feels like the game's pretty good. So we'll see. I don't know. I trust Max when he says like my game's close. So we'll see. The night is darkest before the dawn, gentlemen.
TC, I think that's a very reasonable take. Anecdotally, it seemed like he was in a great mood today, which is awesome to see. I'd love to just see. It doesn't feel like he's got a lot of rhythm though. Didn't seem like that at Pebble. Just feels like we're searching, but we're reset. We've kind of reset everything. New man on the bag, so fresh start. Let's see what happens.
It is weird that I don't think he's putting on a front with kind of the confidence of that he. You talk to him, he's like, I'm hitting it great on the range. I'm playing great at home. It just isn't translating to competition. I've been around him enough when he's not hitting it great that like it sends off a different vibe, right? He's not lying when he says that. Now, what does the timeline look like for taking a new swing feel, new equipment, and taking it into competition where like you got to get over this hurdle of how many straight poor performances you've had is the first thing you think of when you tee it up Thursday, and getting to the point where you can trust a new swing feel and not have to think about it and can just go play golf. He's clearly not there. So people have showed up to Augusta in worse form and had amazing weeks. This is one of the few tournaments where you can point and say like almost nothing matters coming into it. Phil Mickelson was runner-up at this tournament 2 years ago. Like either like this place or you don't, or like, something could come to life in a hurry. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not necessarily banking on that, but I am bullish long run on Max. I'm not giving up on him. So.
I would say let me do a giraffe take here. I will not pick him to win, but I could pick him to have a top 20 finish. You know what I mean? Just kind of a good finish. I can see. I feel very good about a good finish, not a fantastic finish.
I like that. We're going to get to ANWA here shortly. We're going to bring in our own Jordan Perez. But AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like actually getting the rental car you requested. Did you get the rental car you requested today?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
you
actually
did.
got a little upgrade for the rental car.
How about that? Your wedding turning out just like you dreamed it, and someone making another pot of coffee in the break room after drinking the last drop of the last one. Don't get me started. It's not a guarantee. We'll see if what the etiquette is around this house this week. In a world where nothing is guaranteed, AT&T is bringing something new to the table. They are introducing a guarantee with connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve, or they'll make it right. So if you want to know more about the AT&T guarantee, head to att.com/guarantee. AT&T connecting changes everything. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. Augusta National Women's Amateur. Jordan Perez, is this your Super Bowl? Is this your favorite event of the year, Jordan?
Oh, this is my Super Bowl, gentlemen. I'm honored to be back on the program to talk about the best week of the year, in my opinion.
And congrats to your Florida Gators for advancing to the national championship game.
Yeah, awesome win.
Yeah,
and Soly's
nerves everywhere.
Florida Gators by extension.
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, was Carla on your radar coming into this week as one of the favorites for the listeners that aren't as inclined to following women's amateur golf? Tell us a little bit about her and what the expectations were for her going into the week.
Yeah, Carla was not exactly on my radar, but I did mention on the preview podcast we did earlier in the week that at times there tends to be a winner of this event who is on absolutely no one's radar. And credit to Carla, she is having a great collegiate season. That's not against any merit at all. I mean, she is a great player. Started her college career out at Tulane and wound up at Kansas State. Is kind of under the tutelage of Stu Burke, who has had a really incredible coaching career. Started at USC and went to Tulane and now is at Kansas State and has been with Carla her entire career. And so, yeah, she's had that dog in her for a while. I just don't know that it ever came out. I don't know that there was necessarily like a BDE win under her belt, but she slowly but surely had a pretty good collegiate career. It was interesting. I kind of was looking back at her history in this event, which was really kind of stood out to me. So she missed the cut in 2022, was not invited in 2023, got in last year in 2024 because Tsubasa Kajitani withdrew. And then in 2024, actually last year, she shot a first round 78, then made the cut on round 2 with a 69 on probably one of the most difficult days I've ever seen Champions Retreat play. So proved that she had some dog last year. Didn't really have a remarkable final round by any stretch, finished T17, but came into this year and was the first player ever to have rounds in the 60s, 68, 68, 68. So I was so impressed. I can get to complaining about the broadcast shortly, but wish we would have gotten to see her journey a little bit more earlier in the week. But she played some incredible golf on Saturday, and it was poised, it was consistent. She minimized her mistakes, and I was just in awe. I think that's one of the best final rounds we've ever seen out there.
It was so captivating that the back nine, because she was not shy at all about basically displaying for the world how nervous she was.
For sure. She was, like AT&T, the biggest exhale after she hit the fairway.
She almost acted like she won the tournament just by hitting the fairway on 18. I was kind of like, you got to kind of hit the lower tier there to have an easy 2-putt. And she had to make a 4-footer to win, but she birdied 13 and 15 on the back nine. And maybe, I don't know if NBC flexes a little bit different camera angles, or, if it's just the effect that Augusta National has on like women's amateurs versus top male professionals in terms of what kind of an effect an awkward lie can have. But the lie she had in 13 fairway, and again, maybe it's just her stature. She's a shorter person. How far that ball was above her feet and how awkward that lie looked off the downslope to still hit that shot, hit the fade you kind of needed to, and hold up that green. And again, that display of emotion afterwards, it was good TV. This tournament just continues to kind of raise the bar every single year. And it just felt like NBC was just humming with Bones out there. There's nobody that knows Augusta.
Do we have some dissension? Jordan versus
I think she's
Soly?
saying early rounds coverage was lacking of Carla. But I thought when they got to Augusta, it was When NBC puts forth an effort and gives a shit,
Yeah.
they can do some stuff.
It was the same thing at Pebble a couple years ago. We're like, hey, we know you're capable of it, and you guys are good when the suits can get out of your way here.
Jordan, I have a question for you. As for the untrained viewer, I saw a lot of Spanish flags on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Is that something that I should know about? Or are we running a good national program, women's amateur program in Spain?
A Spanish winner was due for this event, honestly. It really was a long time coming. I mean, there's a lot of great AMs out there. I mean, namely Paula Martin San Pedro, Andrea Wavalta had a great week as well.
Yeah.
There are always Spanish players in contention at this event or lurking in some way. And Carla being the one to emerge was so sick. But yes, to answer your question, there are a lot of Spanish women's amateurs out there that are getting good, and they're only getting better.
Little Birdie told me that Carla was raised at the same course that the reigning U.S. amateur champion played at as well before they both left for Sergio Garcia's academy as well.
Yes,
which is
Jose Ballester. Yeah,
what a calling card for that little town, right?
Totally. Yeah, our U.S. Am champ and the Augusta
Yeah.
National Women's Amateur Champion, both Spaniards.
Well, both Spaniards, but both from the same. I think it's a
Yes.
tiny town. Yeah, which is crazy.
I believe they both played tennis as well before they played golf.
There you go, multi-sport athletes, Neil.
Love that. So we're specializing too much in this country.
Carla's biggest threat, holes out on the opening day. What ends up being her biggest threat was Astris Talley. Eagled the first hole at Augusta National on Saturday to start the day. Gave it back with 2 bogeys on the front nine. Made a late charge with a birdie on 16 and a ridiculous birdie from the trees on 17. As Carla's coming up behind her and dumps it in the bunker on 17, it got tight really late. But what's your take here on Astris Talley? This is a name we've heard a lot. She was runner-up at the U.S. Women's Amateur last year. Now the runner-up here at the Augusta National Women's Amateur. What do people need to know about her?
She's giving me Rory syndrome, where I get really upset that she's coming up short. Like actually legitimately moved by it. And that's not to say that she's not had some really tough competition all these times. I mean, she had to play Rianne Malixi, who was probably playing some of the best golf in the entire world last summer. Won Sage Valley, so I'm not going to take that away from her. And then comes into this ANWA final round, climbing against Carla Bernat, who just came out of somewhat not really nowhere. I mean, she was lurking once again, but yeah, I look at a player like Astris Talley and her age. I mean, being 16, and it's just I've felt this way for a whole year, where it's like I don't see a weakness in your game at all if there is one, and I was very excited when she said after her round on Saturday that she really wants to go to college. And I thought it was even cooler. I did not credit who had written about this. I can't remember off the top of my head, that she said that she goes to normal high school. She doesn't do online school. She goes to normal high school. So shout out Asterisk for actually being a normal kid and balancing junior golf, high level junior golf. That's so sick. But
not even junior golf, high level amateur, just straight up amateur golf.
Yes. So I, again, hope we keep seeing more Astris Talley, because she is kind of a generational talent. She's proving that to be so. And she'll get hers. I mean, I think, Sage Valley was an incredible win, but I think she will get an amateur win one of these days on her resume before she's at least 18.
Yeah. I mean, is it way too early, obviously, to talk about favorites for next year, and a lot can unfold over the next year? But if you had to set the odds for next year, considering some players going pro, would she be the favorite for this next year, do you think?
I think so. Between her and someone like
She's got 2 more years too. Even if she doesn't go to college, she's still got 2 more years, right?
It's crazy.
Yep. She could win the next 2. It's crazy.
Is she plans to play any LPGA events as an amateur in the short term? I'm putting you on the spot with some of these, but it seems like we're dealing with a mega star young talent here.
A predator.
I think she takes these exemptions as they come. Yeah. I mean, I don't, she has played professionally in the past. And last year she played in the U.S. Women's Open. So, I think I don't think this is certainly not the last of Astris Talley that we'll see. I mean, she just, wow. And what a week for her. I don't know. I I would really be torn between Asterisk and Ella Galitsky for next year.
Which Ella Galitsky shot 66, and she pulled a Patrick Reed afterwards, saying, I mean, it was sick, saying it should have been. I think her quote was, it should have been 10 or 12 under with how many putts she missed. Just was like completely disinterested with her 66, and it was so
5 under through 8.
Like, just absolutely stuffing the pinata on that one. Lottie Woad came in with high expectations in that final round. Just did not look like she was having a great time out there.
Sent that to the Slack. Just not having a bad time.
Very malcontent tendencies out there. Lost her swing kind of on that back 9, but you just kind of hate to see that. Shot 72, finished solo 3rd, and 3 back, of course, last year's champion that just beat the door down.
It felt like this year, like all the good players played good. Like everybody that was, it was, there's a few there that, like few college players that like didn't play well. Fernandez, Garcia, Poggio, but like otherwise, everybody. I mean, even like Gianna Clemente, T16, Mega Gane, like she's 63 first round. Catherine Park, I'm buying all the stock on Catherine Park. I think she's a.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you rent. My HOA fees in the Catherine Park are going towards you. But yeah, I mean, it just seemed like everybody kind of peaked at the right time this year, and that I don't think that's been the case really at all the last few years as far as ANWA's gone, right?
I tweeted something earlier this week where I was like, there's 2 wolves inside of me that either really want round 2 to be as diabolical as possible or to have the best possible leaderboard on Saturday, and the latter wolf was winning. And maybe I'll stay there. I don't know.
Okay.
What did we learn about Augusta? There was obviously some question marks about the golf course heading into this week. There's 4 new greens allegedly. Some trees down. Anything look different to you guys from watching it on TV?
I think behind 15, like having only one tree back there, it looks a little lonely. I think there's a few
behind
things.
11, like looking down the camera view we got of Lottie Woad going into 11 with 12 green in the distance and no trees now in between those 2 greens, and that view was I do not recall ever seeing that at Augusta.
I welcome. Like, I don't know. I think we've gotten to a point with Augusta to where it's almost like I was looking at retro for like photographs of Augusta this week, and I feel like everybody wants Augusta to be stuck in time, and they want it to be the same every year when we return to it. Augusta needs to look the same. Augusta is Augusta. And it's like, this is a golf course, and this is
the most
a dynamic
tinkered with golf course in history,
right? And this is a like evolving organism or evolving, thing that's just it's like a piece of woods, right? And so I kind of dig it when there's a shock to the system every few years of, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, like nothing's permanent here, and we can't play God. Like Augusta changes as well. And I think that's a cool thing. And I think people need to lean into that. I would encourage Augusta to redesign the 16th hole to be the original 16th hole and not the current 16th hole. Like even just seeing the way that the course has developed, it could be so much better than it is if people are cool with tinkering with it and making it like leaning into it being a living kind of organism instead of just everything like this is Augusta and it's at this level every year. Nothing ever changes. So
I have a couple holes I put in front of 16, but I agree with your point generally. TC.
Well, supposedly 16 green, they say it's exactly the same. A little birdie that I spoke with today said he thinks the upper right slope of that one and like the front of that, the way balls behave, how usually if a ball feeds off the upper shelf, it just goes left. That balls have been seen to come off the front of the green, coming off of that slope. So the shape of the front of that is less like tilting towards the left and more kind of back towards you. It's funny, TC, I was watching some highlights from the 2015 Masters. Spieth's win, obviously. And like it just, you show up and 5 is longer this year. And they lengthened 2 this year. That's interesting. And they lengthened blah, blah. Oh my God, they've done so much work since 2015. I mean, the first hole was a 445. Now it's like 470. 5, they moved a road to move back to that tee. 2 has moved back. Like just keep going of all of these holes that used to be these little bunt holes that are now just going back.
And I think that's the thing for me is like, we can talk about this on the live shows this week, but holes like 5, 7, 11, there's just, I don't, and like Jeff Shackelford had a really good piece last week on just Augusta generally, and even walking the golf course. He was like, yeah, it's like maybe the greatest walk in golf from the members tees. And you're on grass the whole way, except for you hit asphalt twice playing the golf course. And it's like that just made me think of, man, like thinking about crossing asphalt on a golf course, of if you didn't have to cross asphalt, like if you were just on grass or pine straw the entire time, how cool would that be? Right? I don't know, just details like that, I guess.
Where are you crossing asphalt?
Be 11 T to the fairway and 18 T to the fairway.
Okay, yeah, I see on 18.
And 15, you go behind from the back tees. There's a couple more time, at least one more time you would cross asphalt. But
which, like, man, if you're after perfection, like those are imperfections, right?
There you go.
Well, but just one thing there. They are changing the golf course, just not in ways that you can see it.
No,
so
I know,
like
but
quietly,
that's the thing.
No, but
like everybody wants
I'm making
it to
your point
look the
for you.
same.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
agree with you completely, TC. It's like everyone thinks they're not. No, they don't do anything. It's like no, they do a ton to it. They just, they don't really talk about it.
Artificial manicured
Yeah,
manufactured thing in the world, and it's like cool. Then like I think that should give Ridley the free reign to bring it, like make Augusta as good as it can be, and bring back some of that rough hewn Mackenzie stuff, and just make it look like more of a Mackenzie again, is all I'm asking.
So. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen with, again, technology. But we can get into that. We can spend some time on that one. But any other thoughts on broadcast NBC, or just kind of the TV product as a whole? Anybody else have anything to add in on that one?
I don't know. I didn't like the broadcast windows early in the week for ANWA. Just felt like we missed most of the story, especially during round 2 when the leaders had basically finished their rounds right as soon as they went on air. So it just, that was really stinky. And it's like we get such a great product on Saturday of the final round of ANWA that it really deserves that build up. And I just also don't really understand what we're competing with on Wednesday and Thursday, but alas, I guess that's for me to shout into the void about.
Was there streaming anywhere on top of the TV coverage, or online anything outside of the TV windows?
No, it just was that TV window.
Yeah, I feel like I saw more pictures of Champions Retreat this year. Even in the past, it's almost felt like this just black box. Like, hey, we're not gonna show that at all, even on social. And I feel like they actually showed it a little bit on social this year, and like acted like it was part of the tournament instead of just this weird prelude or prologue
qualifier. It's a qualifier essentially.
Yeah,
but keep your scores as you go into Augusta. But
all right, can we just do the how was the drive, chip, and putt today? Didn't see it.
Travel
day for us. I watched a little bit of it.
I heard some things. I heard some aim point things. A lot of junior golf parents out there, which I think Augusta needs to put a hard stop on all of that.
I believe someone said that one of the 13-year-olds thanked their sponsor.
Really?
Yeah.
God, like that makes me like not want to wake up tomorrow. I mean, true, like that's
it's Masters
insane.
Week tomorrow. Come
that's
on,
insane.
Sorry to rattle you like that.
It'd be tough for me to transition into an ad after that one. Jordan, last question for you. Any player or players that you look at differently after this week, either for better or for worse? I mean, Carla's the obvious takeaway here, but anybody else stick out of your opinion change on any specific player?
Going back to what TC said about everybody who was good playing well this week, it's almost like I come out of it just like strengthened in my opinions of very high level players. Once again, very in on Astra's tally. I want to go back to Lottie just very briefly. I'm sorry, I won't go on too long.
Please.
I think Lottie Wood had the obvious pressure of being the defending champion, but she is the first player to ever really be playing for their LPGA card this week, because she was virtually 4 points away on the LIV standings, would have gotten 2 by winning this week, and then would have gotten exemptions and so forth into events that she could have either made the cut or had a top 25 in, and thus would have probably met that threshold based on how good she is. And so I think that lingering in the back of her mind, plus being self-aware enough to admit, hey, my putting is not where it should be. Hey, yes, I'm the defending champion, but there are a lot of other good players in this field this week. All things that she said earlier in the week, I just confirms my belief that we have the rightful number one player in the world. And I remain so in on Lottie Woad, and I still think even with that back nine, she still had a good week.
That's well said. I was a little dismissive just based on what we saw, and a third place finish after
Which
winning
is
the
more
prior
evidence
year.
to Jordan's
That
point of
speaks to the point. The talent is
No, not even that we don't get the full story.
We don't get
Right?
the full story.
There's no build up. It's like, oh yeah, she seems like she's in a bad mood. That's you and I. Like we're the problem.
It's like a bad 3-hole stretch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh man, she's grumpy. It's not fair. Come on.
What sticks out to me because I'm like, oh, I see that in my. That's
I
me.
know that's me too. I'm like, yeah, I get what she's going through.
That's why people get mad.
Can't make these 5-footers, man.
Also, firm in my belief that Kiara Romero was robbed of a Curtis Cup spot. There we go.
Hell yeah, hit him up.
That's the way to go.
Also, do the ladies get Crystal for Eagles? Because I felt like there was a lot of Eagles.
There were a lot
out there.
There were a
we
lot.
could have to. They have to.
They could chase that question down for you, TC.
Yeah, that's we'll get you an answer to that. But
okay.
Jordan, thanks so much.
Thanks, Jordan,
for hopping on late on a Sunday evening and for all your coverage of the ANWA.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next up, I want to give a shout out to, this is an easier ad transition because it's the No Laying Up Pro Shop.
Wow.
It is heating up with goods to get you through the spring. You can celebrate spring by getting a free NLU custom performance hat with any purchase of $75 or more now through Sunday, April 13th. Fill your cart, choose one of 4 custom performance hat and enter free hat at checkout to make the hat free at store.nolayingup.com. Links to the details and the hats can be found at store.nolayingup.com. Go to the collection section, the No Laying Up custom performance hats.
We'll drop that link into the show notes. You can get both of us wearing some Footjoy gear from the Pro Shop right now.
Exactly right.
A couple comfortable
hoodies. Some of this stuff just keeps popping up. You guys start wearing it, and then I'm immediately on there like, all right, I got to get that.
I'm going to be honest with you. We're starting to – Pro Shop's starting to compound. We got some good stuff. Just
in time for
waves
tariff
of it.
season to hit.
Yeah, no, we got ahead of that. We placed a couple big orders right before they hit, TC.
Moving on from that one, the LPGA T-Mobile match play. It was such a weird experience watching this finale. We were trying to get ready for the show and watch what we could. Young hitter Lauren Coughlin facing young hitter Madelene Sagstrom in the final round of the championship.
Young hitter Amaris.
Always, once a young hitter, always a young hitter.
Yeah.
In the championship match out at Shadow Creek. Listen, was that the best golf either of them have played? No. Was that way too much golf for them both to have played? Absolutely. I believe Lauren's hole count was in the 130s for this past.
Well, I thought 126 to 121. Is that?
Could be exactly right.
Every single match that she played hit 18, and then she played some
bonus golf. Ridiculous. But she ran through, her path was beating Stephanie Kiriakou in the quarter. She beat Seyoung Kim in the round of 16 and then beat Ari Jutanagarn, one up in the semis. Madelene beat Angel Yin. It was a lot of, we've done content with all 4 of the final 4 in the match play. We were going to have a win.
Match play rules like this, like Shadow Creek. It's hard as shit. It's good TV when they do show it. They don't really put anything into it. We'll take that offline. But I just think generally speaking, like this is a really good event, and I think it should be one of the more centerpieces of the LPGA tour. And granted, like I'm glad as well, because in the past it's been Chevron up against ANWA as well. So this is a step in the right direction, that it's not an LPGA major, clashing against ANWA. But overall, I mean, God, Lauren, like we were texting with her earlier. She's exhausted. Like, I mean, she played 70. She played 73 holes, I think, in the last, I don't know, 36 hours. And then before, it's crazy.
It's like a 100-hole hike.
Yeah, it's nuts. Big golf course.
It's such a compliment to her that it just felt like it feels very normal to be watching her battle for LPGA titles. And shout out to Madelene Sagstrom. This was her, to your surprise, her second career LPGA title.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised
yeah.
by that. I mean, she hits it so good. I was shocked that she didn't have more wins, but massive congrats to Madelene. We didn't know who to root for.
It was very,
and they were both struggling.
Hard,
so we were like, it was like hard to watch. You're like, oh man, they're both so tired. They're just kind of slapping around there in the middle of the round.
Yeah,
And
good result for Madelene. Like she hasn't done anything so far this year. I know she had a solo second at the Founders last year, but otherwise, like kind of a lean year for her last year too. And so, yeah, I don't know. Madelene, in my opinion, is a top 10 or 15 ball striker in the world. So I'd like to see her get back in that, top 15, top 20 in the rankings.
That has to be such a hard course to play that much golf on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really challenging. The greens were so slick. Those slopes were so pronounced. It was
baby.
Yeah. Mac Attack 17 asked, should Shadow Creek hold a major, maybe a PGA?
Honestly, that would I would be in for a PGA there over like a Valhalla or
I don't know. Nature. Again, I think you'd go back to the
May is tough.
But no, I was gonna say the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like for grandstands, like the things they do out there are like kind of smaller crowds, match it, even this match play, you can spread the crowds out.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't do a major there, but it would be sick.
I couldn't do a men's major, and I don't mean to diminish women's majors to say I think you could do a women's major there. Like in terms of the crowd, the crowd,
you could do like a KPMG, women's LPGA, but like you wouldn't want to do that in June, right?
No.
Like
good stretch goal for the LPGA. Yeah. Well, grow this thing so where you can't do a major at Shadow Creek because you can't handle the crowds.
Well, to TC's point, like there's not a major played in a time period that would make sense to be in Vegas, like because it's about as late in the year that you'd want to play a major in Vegas because when they've had this event there in May, it's a disaster from the heat.
And props to the LPGA though, because this has been it was a disgrace the last couple of years them going to that. Or I think just last year they went to a stroke play kind of 36 hole qualifier thing, I think, and like that sucked. Like it's like play pods or play pool play or whatever. Don't do that. So, but good, I think LPGA is off this coming week, and then they're back in LA, and then they've got Chevron after that. So good stretch, and then they go to Black Desert,
great stretch,
which I will watch. I'll watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, really, this is like the fifth start of the LPGA season, but this is when it starts to get really good and interesting. But congrats to Madelene Sagstrom. If you have not checked it out.
Congrats to Lauren.
If you have not checked it out, we have a video called A Week in the Life. The first one we ever did was with Madelene, following her around during Gamebridge in Orlando there. And it's amazing. I mean, it's such a great final video, and she was awesome in it. Shane Codd, her caddy, still on the bag with her, and they were just awesome with their time and effort into that one as well. And then Lauren, just continues to just produce. Her golf swing's so good, and we're really proud of her. I mean, it's just awesome to have followed her from the Epson Tour days to now just like very regular, being on women's golf's biggest stages and performing unbelievably well. We thought we were going to gut it out. Incredible comeback from 4 down in the championship to get to 1 up, but I think the fatigue finally caught up with her and all the extra golf. But
she just texted 127 holes.
Jesus,
127. So I was 1 off. And shout out Lauren, new caddy. I think he's been on the bag for a week or 2. So love seeing that little honeymoon phase going on with that partnership.
Love it. All right, TC, take us to your day.
TC, LIV Doral, take us there.
No, I woke up. Party doctor called me. He said, "Hey, you want to go to LIV Doral?" I said, "I don't know. Like,
do I?"
Yeah. So he's like, "Hey, we got a seat." Flew down to LIV Doral. Got there. That place is so hard, guys. Not in a good way. Like not in like an endearing way of I'd never been in Doral before. I think I'm good on Doral.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's like right next to the airport.
Okay,
right next to Miami Airport.
Okay,
and it's like I think just northwest of the Miami Airport. And it's just like if you stretched out like a Bermuda grass muni to 8,000 yards, and then the wind just blows and blows and blows. Like it was blowing 15, 20 all day, and I guess this was the calmest day of the week. down there. But Leash was two behind or 3 behind heading into the final round. Bryson was up, and we're all big Leash fans. Steve Lear, Maddie Kelly, Leash's caddy, his father-in-law, kind of put together a group to go down. Leash got his first LIV victory, and he played awesome. Played great golf. Everybody else just didn't even wilt. Like, it was just really hard. And Leash, I think that's some of the best golf I've ever seen him play, between Masters and and it's like you just kind of, and like he just kind of won going away. So Schwartzel and Garcia kind of tried to make it into a contest at the end, but I mean it's like Soly, they weren't even using the back tee on 18, and it was like 479 or 480 straight into the fan, with like the water all at the left and the palm trees all at the right. And then and then Yasser's there. Yasser's hanging out with Yasser's girl. I think maybe the most attractive human being I've ever seen before. I mean, it was one of the weirdest vibes anywhere I've ever been. I didn't wake up expecting to go to LIV Miami today. So.
TC, how was the crowd and how was the DJ?
Oh my God.
Crowd was not as big as the LIV Chicago, or LIV just outside Chicago, that I went to. That was a much bigger crowd. This was, but there were plenty of people there. They just weren't as spread out on the golf course. It was very kind of concentrated around 9 and 18.
The loudest music is probably where the fans congregated, I would have to assume, in Miami.
Yeah, music was really down tempo this time, Neil. Like, it was very Miami. What else? The Cliques, they had their garden party. Stopped by there. Nobody was there. It was deserted.
Oh,
the Cliques
fuck.
there were all sorts of like the Cliques. The whole new rebrand looks like just like bad AI impressionism.
Hate that for your squad, TC.
Yeah, the merch tent. There wasn't as much going on in the merch tent.
It's so funny just like to think of, I mean, in little bits, it's not that funny of like, oh yeah, the Cliques are rebranding and here's a new image. And then like to seriously talk about the fact that this
crazy,
like the 9th best LIV franchise that nobody cares about is going through a rebrand, that the former CEO of Minecraft is like their manager or something. And he said he wants the brand to be like a Yankees style brand.
Yeah.
Lifestyle. Claire Rogers had this post. Yeah. Every word of this headline came as a surprise to me. The headline is Minecraft CEO seeks to make LIV's Cliques into Yankees-like brand. Like, what? Whoa. Truly, like a lot. Minecraft, huh? Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm proud of the Cliques today. They shot one over today, which was, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th best today. Ripper won going away. They beat the shit out of everybody.
What did the Cliques finish the week at?
Plus 47. It was tied with the rain. It was, dude, I'm telling you, it was so, and it's all 4 scores count now. It was so hard. like
Majestics plus 50.
Leishman went bogey free today. Like, I haven't looked, but that's got to be the only bogey free round out there. It was that grass is so grainy and just,
the range goats can't get it together either, man.
No, I mean, what happened to Neiman?
Majestics had
not Neiman, Gooch.
Yeah, Gooch was. I mean, we had some bad rounds today.
TC, the Cliques got 4 points this year. What is going on?
It's been a terrible year. I guess this guy from Florida State, Ketterup, not good. He's bad. This is a terrible course for Blandy.
Not good.
But
I heard you met your hero. Did you meet Blandy?
Yeah, I ran into him in the locker room. We had these passes just got us everywhere, so we're just going everywhere, and kind of like, rumbled into Blandy, and then
did you say hi, or
Blandy's
did you
taking a shot?
No, I just kind of
goes in and shakes his hand.
Hey, Richard, Richard, huge fan.
You're my guy.
No, I mean, Blandy, he didn't have a good week, so I didn't want to, take up too much of his time. He shot 74 today. I mean, the Majestics had 2 guys in the 80s. They were plus 50 for the week.
Oh,
Stenson,
now you want to talk about guys shooting in the 80s all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So no, it was. I'd never been to Doral before. Man, what a strange place that was. And then, yeah, just seeing all the dudes like, so, like you guys were talking about guys playing Augusta tonight. Like Phil was grinding to get up to Augusta, and like, but I will say from like a leaderboard perspective, Schwartzel, Sergio, Bryson, Mickelson,
It's
Reed,
interesting.
Cam,
It's
like they all
interesting.
in Rahm, they all finished in the top 10. Like,
Sergio's interesting this week.
yeah, Sergio's playing really good golf right now.
Very interesting. I mean, I swear to God, all I was looking for was like a hint of something from Phil this week to be just throw that on the radar. I mean, very seriously, very seriously.
He shuts. He was 3 under first round. Pretty much all the guys. The one guy that didn't play well that I was looking to play well was Joaquin. Joaquin was T33. Shot 9 over for the week. Tied with Bubba.
He usually saves that for the major championships, but it's unfortunate. Bryson solo fifth is I mean, he was playing well going into this event last year, or going to the Masters last year, and nobody really wanted to believe it. And Reed T7. It's interesting. It's all very interesting heading into this.
And that was like, I will say, like, that was a good. Like, I know it's overseeded Rye up at Augusta, but that was a good test of golf. Like this week, that was, I mean, it's pretty similar to Valero. Like, those were both very, very difficult golf courses, and guys got to figure out what they need to work on. Like Phil was locked in.
Yeah, and I'll just say this as a good test of golf, the Cleeks did not pass that test at plus 47 TC.
They didn't. They didn't. Neither did the range goats. The goats had all their shit at the FBO afterwards.
What happened to Smash, man? They fell off too. They got 1 point this year.
Yeah, the Aces are kind of back though.
I mean, kind of. They're in fifth. Fireballs have taken over the lead. It's always fun to check in on these standings once a month because it's not something I follow
maybe
closely.
I missed this, but who you picking out of the LIV contingent? Who's your favorite right now?
I mean, it's always going to be Rahm. I mean, he's still freaking, I don't know, a guy I refuse to
non-Rahm category.
Just the best finisher of the LIV group.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I'm going to say Phil.
I was going to say P. Reed. I mean, he constantly.
I cannot emphasize enough how baggy P. Reed's pants are. It was crazy.
Their elite collection.
They look like something. They look like Jenkos back in the day.
Anything else stick out from this experience?
No, I mean, I don't. One of our buddies who has a plane, we flew down and we're in the FBO afterwards, and just seeing all that shit lined up, and like our plane got out before Phil's plane, and Phil was not happy. He was not happy about that. Like it was like a traffic jam. It was like rush hour, and so you had Bubba waiting in there. You had Phil. Oh God, who else was there?
You're killing me. My C-suite reputation.
It was great.
I don't have any friends with planes. TC has friends with planes.
What a metaverse!
I was home in
57 minutes.
I was home in 57 minutes.
What a way to live.
How did Hatton play? What about him? He
not good. Hatton did not play good. He was
not having a good T33 plus 9. He shot 2 under today, but no, not good.
Yeah.
Schwartzel. I mean, Schwartzel, obviously a Masters champion, a runner-up.
Dick off. Yeah, he was low round of the day today.
I mean, non-live category. Angel Cabrera.
Speaking of
one of the sleepers coming into the Masters. Jesus.
Would it be worse for Augusta to have a LIV player win, or
he ended up winning?
He won. He won by 2. Yeah.
The James Hardy. I'm not. James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational.
James Hardy.
Oh, that's what it was. I should have known.
Of course, the Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational is in Boca Raton, not in Canton, Ohio.
I just have one other news item for the week. If you guys are ready to move off the pro golf for now, sure. Which is that according to the Guardian, I believe this was first reported by the Guardian, the PGA Tour has rejected a LIV offer, and after Monahan famously saying multiple times they're not going to negotiate in public, they appear to be negotiating in public very clearly now. But the article says Saudi Arabia's public investment fund failed to attempt to persuade the PGA Tour to deliver serious concessions.
Failed in an attempt, not in an attempt. They
failed in an attempt, excuse me, to deliver serious concessions in exchange for a $1.5 billion investment, leaving elite golf no closer to reconciliation just days before the season's first major. The PGA Tour's stance will give credence to the rising sense that the organization has increasing confidence in its position after a turbulent period caused by the formation of the Saudi-backed LIV Tour. Sources indicate that in correspondence sent to the PGA Tour last week, PIF sought assurances that the LIV circuit would continue to operate and its governor, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, would take a place as co-chairman of PGA Tour Enterprises. In exchange, the PIF would invest $1.5 billion in PGA Tour Enterprises, and the 1.5 has been planned to match identical investment from the U.S.-based Strategic Sports Group. PGA Tour replied to PIF's demands on Monday with neither deemed acceptable. Those with detailed knowledge of the situation stress reunification of golf is the PGA Tour's core aim, a matter that is hardly assisted by LIV continuing in its present form. There would also be understandable unease within the PGA Tour should Rumayyan, whose organization has bankrolled LIV, be afforded such a prominent position as the breakaway tour continues on its own path. That was the key parts of the article.
Neither deemed acceptable. I'm going to start saying that to my wife. Hey, you want to do this? No. Do you want to do this? No. Neither deemed acceptable.
I would say, though, it's always funny how words matter. You could take demands and turn it into like LIV. LIV proposed this, and you know what I'm saying? Like they're using words that insist that it's contentious, and
it is contentious.
Well, yeah, maybe, but I'm kind of reading through that, and I'm like, were they demanding it, or is that just like no, we're not going to?
Well, as I understand it from well-placed sources among this, like it is like a non-negotiable for like that team golf continue in some way or that LIV continue in some way. Like that is the thing. And like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense for the PGA Tour to agree to something that would have LIV continue in its current form. Like
Could you do it in the fall?
I think you could do a silly season in the fall.
I don't think that's LIV continuing in its current form. I think that's a different thing.
And its current form is the key phrase. Yeah.
Which, like, as hard as I've been on the tour for not getting something done, it's hard to, as more details of this come out of like LIV having a wildly unreasonable valuation of their own product and insisting that it continue leads to a pretty easy.
So what happens? So now, like some of these guys, their contracts are up. We've heard about like Bryson getting his, like, LIV owns, or the PIF owns his NIL basically. So they're getting the money from his YouTube.
I believe they're getting somewhere in the range of 75%. That's what we've heard in terms of like the same ownership percentage they have of the Crushers. They get that kind of revenue from YouTube, which I'm sure has something to do with him not doing the LIV Duels thing, which I did not get a chance to watch.
Duels?
Well, it was supposed to come out Saturday night. I think they realized Saturday night that the Final Four was going on, so then they delayed the coming out until Sunday morning. I was not able to watch any of it. At last I looked, we peeked at it earlier. Neil watched.
I
Neil
watched
binged
5
the
minutes.
whole thing.
No, I was. It was an hour and 40. I was a little slow.
Was Gabby Goldsboro involved?
No, it was a tighter.
You hear slow, and that's where your mind goes.
And, your guy Bob Doe Sports was saying the Cleeks is his least favorite team.
No, that was the comedian Andrew whatever. I walked in on that part. He said the Range Goats were his favorite team, and the least favorite team name was the Cleeks. So that felt a little pointed.
Let's see. Yeah, tough tee shots off the first tee. Wesley Bryan hit in the water. George Bryan hit in the water.
Which we've heard now that Wesley Bryan's suspended for a year for participating in LIV Duels.
And should be suspended from LIV too.
And a lot of stuff was flying around that like LIV creators were suspended by the PGA Tour for doing this, which
that sounded like some blustering on the tour's side that wasn't actually going to.
Well, I think it was tied to like if they wanted to accept a sponsor's invite to a tournament, then they would not be. Yeah, they would not be eligible to if they competed in outside events, which is a ridiculous rule. But it wasn't like
they're not members of the tour.
I know, but that's been their thing. You don't have to be if you're a non-member of the tour. If you participate in LIV, you're suspended for a year, which I've never understood. The tour's
just not ready for. They don't have creator guidelines. TC, this is uncharted territory. Like, we can't control these guys.
They need a creator HR handbook.
Yeah, they do.
There wasn't like you can't create anymore. You can't create for 1 year if you play the LIV one, and that of course got picked up by all the worst people you could ever imagine and made into complete bullshit.
Oh, I saw your guy Clay Travis played in the Pro-Am this week too.
Swing's looking good. He's got it slotted. Anyways, that's going to be about it for tonight. We have made a goal to keep tonight tight, knowing we have 6 shows coming this week. Again, we will be live on the No Laying Up podcast YouTube channel, 3:30 Monday, to preview the match. We've never done the Masters preview live. We're just doing the recording live. It's not a live show. We're not going to have it all whipped up with a bunch of graphics and all that branding and stuff, but we want to get that out in the world as fast as possible. So come join us live. You can drop comments in there live if you've never done that. We will have a happy hour at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. That'll be presented by our friends at FanDuel. We'll make our picks for the week. We will talk about all the relevant news items for the week. And then we'll be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after every round of play. The No Laying Up live show presented by High Noon, some of our favorite shows to do every single year. We're going to be bringing the heat and the energy. We have myself. We have Neil here in Augusta in person. Kevin Van Valkenburg just walked in the door. Cannot wait to tell him the Gary Player story from earlier on. And it's going to be a great week. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled you guys are here. We're going to have so much fun doing it. So stick with us all week. We're going to have an absolute blast.
And subscribe to the newsletter.
Yes.
We'll have some exclusive stuff going up there. And just
where do people find that?
Newsletter.nolayingup.com. And the Tuesday preview, it's actually, I think we're going to send the weekly digest out as our preview this week to everyone, and then we'll have every Thursday or Friday the newsletter comes out weekly. Newsletter.nolayingup.com.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. TC, thanks for coming back in time and giving us a report on you meeting Blandy in the shower.
It wasn't in the shower.
Thank you to Footjoy, AT&T, and the No Laying Up Pro Shop. We'll see you guys back here later this week. Cheers.
Crack on.